try to imagine that I have everything, every single thing I wish I have. And my body is absolutely satisfied with everything. And I don't need to work out. I have special drugs that helps me to be in shape without even moving. Also, I have all entertainment I wish, and I have beautiful humanoid woman who's ready to satisfy all my desire, and I have a bunch of simulation to play with, and whatever I want, it's accessible just with one click of my finger. And I was thinking, if I have this situation, what exactly my final wish would be? Because what exactly would happen to us if we literally have nothing to wish for? I think the last stage that is going to work against life like this will be our consciousness. Something in us would oppose this life with no challenges. If you want to be in shape and you don't have to work out for that and just take a pill, something in us would oppose it. If you have humanoid sex robot who will satisfy all your perverse desires, something in us will oppose it as well. If we play some strange games in simulation that looks frightfully like reality, something in us will ask questions. How moral is that? Every single thing in us has to go through the voice within us, through the voice of conscience, or through the voice of God. And this voice is going to be the last stage we have to destroy to become completely animals who just enjoy animalistic desires without thinking of the future and not caring of the past, just dissipate ourselves in the present. We can become less conscious because consciousness itself would work against our desire of absolute comfort. That's what absolute comfort does to us. We only can enjoy really things that we have to earn, that we have to struggle for, that we have to win, something that looks those things impossible to get, but somehow we learn, and through our novel ideas, solution, innovation, we get those things and we feel blessed. But only because we work hard and overcome suffering to get those things. If you want to be in shape, you have two choices: to get a pill or to be on a diet, to work out every day. And working out every day and watch what you eat changes you, not only physically but mentally as well. You become stronger, you become different, you become more intelligent because you understand the value of your intellect over your body, of your will over your body. But if you just take a pill, nothing within you change. Just the shell become a little bit more better looking. But you are the same on the inside, the same lazy person who has no appreciation for their own body. My point is, if we have everything easy, we will never appreciate what we have, and we're going to take it for granted in a second. And while taking it for granted, we will cause more harm to ourselves than good. And that's what I mean when I say that soon we're going to have a genie, the machine genie who would be able to satisfy all our desires. And I heard recently Sam Altman said that we're going to have this genie and the first wish is to make sure that this wish beneficial for the humanity as a whole. But what exactly he meant by humanity? Humanity contains different kind of individuals, and these individuals have different idea of benefits. And if we mean to give everyone equal comfort, it means that everyone will degrade equally well, and become less conscious as the result of this degradation. Because that's what comfort does to us. Comfort forces us to focus on our bodies and forget about our spirit, about our soul. But then again, I'm not saying comfort is bad, but somehow we never develop the idea how we can balance comfort with our spiritual life. Somehow we just absolutely ignore our spiritual desires, our soul, our consciousness, and absolutely dissipate ourselves inside of our comfortable life. And artificial intelligence keep propagate this idea of comfort and try to make us more and more comfortable. And we can help it but keep following this road because that's what our bodies do. We just want to have comfortable life and we want to live long while having this comfortable life. But something in us tells us that it's wrong. We're missing something very crucial behind this comfortable life. And something in us make our life incredibly uncomfortable at the same time, but in another way, in another sense. You can have great apartment, great house, many cars, but something within you will tell you it's wrong. Something in you will point at something that's missing. It's your spiritual development. It's your religious evolution. We exist in a certain frame, and this frame not only physical, this frame is religious as well. And without God, what kind of substitution we bring to this frame? What kind of unity we can have without religious idea, without Christianity itself? We kind of stop forgetting about it, but something in us forces us to remember it. And I try to struggle with this idea, the idea of observer. I have an observer, and this observer helps me to control my biology. This observer helps me to fight my addictions, to force me to live better life, to make more hard choices, and to change myself. But who is the observer of my observer? It could be God, or it could be my neighbor. It could be people around me. Maybe that's how we live with each other. We observe each other's observers. And this group of observers create unity and create God that is in charge of all our observers. But for this we need to participate in our life with each other. But what happened now, we just spectate other people's life through the screen of our phones. Notice how many people start filming crimes or tragedies of other people's and not having desire to help them. They just spectate somebody else's tragedies, somebody else's crime that was committed against them through the screen of their phone while recording it. And we distance ourselves more and more from reality, from life, and trap ourselves inside the screen. But what exactly the screen gives us? We're losing the experience, we're losing the idea of participation. And if we don't participate in our own life, we just become spectators of our own life. Think about it. Because of these new technologies, because of artificial intelligence, we're becoming spectators of our own life, spectators of our own intelligence. In some sense, we stop having the intelligence and delegate our intelligence to artificial intelligence and becoming spectators of our own being. We stop even evolving into our life more and more. Everything we delegate to our iPhones, to our computers. We don't even trust ourselves with our taste. Even selection of our music and movies, we delegate it to algorithm who decide what we should watch and what we shouldn't watch, how we should evolve and how we shouldn't evolve. It's much more complicated because this delegation create something that we're losing our agency as the result. And isn't our consciousness inside of our agency, inside of our self-awareness, inside of the observer? Because if we're going to lose our agency, we delegate our agency to artificial intelligence just because we want to save time. But my question is, why do we need time if we have nothing to do? What exactly are we going to spend our life on? I heard many times a lot of people say we're going to become incredibly creative. But there's a small percentage of people who are really creative. Everybody else just doing nothing, just become lazy and hopelessly depressed with the lack of meaning. Before you can hide yourself behind your job that you hate, behind the family you have to provide. But at least you didn't think about the meaning of life. You were so busy. But now the life becoming much more easier, much more comfortable. And people start thinking about the meaning of their own life. And with this discovery, they discover there's no meaning in their life because there's no God. And with no God, there seems like nothing, just existence until we die. And then they start thinking about it. And they become depressed. And then they put themselves on medication. And medication doesn't solve problem of depression because the cost of depression, in most cases, the lack of meaning. And medication cannot solve this problem. It cannot solve the problem of lack of meaning. To only find lack of meaning, you have to take responsibility for your agency. You have to look for a struggle to change your life. Because only through struggle you can change your life. Only through fighting you can change something within you, something for the better. And then, through the struggle, you can find the meaning. And this meaning is the most important thing. And you cannot find the meaning without your observer because your observer is the one who identified the meaning. Your biology is something you have to control through your observer. Because if we designate the control of our biology to artificial intelligence, it's going to just play on our biology, just give us dopamine boost. That's why we have our AI pornography, AI movies, AI everything. All entertainment will soon turn into AI, and then eventually we're going to have headsets with a simulation that almost look real, with a suit that's going to help us to sense virtual reality. And then for a brain it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it sees right now or if I'm in a headset. It's going to be the same sensation. And then we're going to lose ourselves inside of many, many realities. And we will never fix this reality because we designate our agency to artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence doesn't understand us and will never be able to understand us because we have different substrate. We have biological substrate, artificial intelligence has digital substrate. And how it's supposed to understand us? It only can understand us partially through the information it learns about us. But between information and between reality is a huge gap. It's like if you learn about something through the book or through reality. Reality have smells. Reality have many, many senses we aware of without even being aware of. And my point is, our conscious is going to be the last step for us to disregard or to oppose if we don't want to completely turn into animals. Because eventually, when we become so comfortable, so good, like with everything, we're going to have every single thing. Just click and you have every single thing you want. But your consciousness is going to scream against it because that's what our conscious does. And that's why we medicate ourselves. That's why we always have such an addictions like alcohol or drugs. We always have these addictions to numb ourselves. And we're going to have choices to keep numbing ourselves or try to correct ourselves and turn ourselves away from this. Because artificial intelligence in itself is not a bad thing. The problem is our reaction to artificial intelligence, our idea of artificial intelligence, and the way we want to use artificial intelligence is bad because we want to give artificial intelligence our agency, our intelligence, and in the end even our consciousness just because we want to do as little as possible, to feel as little as possible, and in the end, to be less aware of the world and ourselves as possible.